And then is it realistic and possible for you to make money in this industry?
Agreed. Yes. Hello, everybody. Thank you, Ariel, for having me. I love to share my story. So, as a banker, I um, I was limited in what I could do because I could only offer what that particular bank at the time could offer, and so I was losing a lot of clients who wanted, say, working capital, or maybe who wanted a cash out, or clients who wanted a business acquisition. So I could only offer what that particular bank offered. So as many banks as I worked for, I was limited to just a few products. However, the brokers on the commercial side that I would see bring me business, they would just take their business somewhere else. And so they were, I was really attracted to the money was great, but what came along with the opportunity of sort of like leaping away from the limitations of the banking roles that I had was my independence, my freedom, and my opportunity to make as much money as I could possibly make. So on a salary and the bonuses, wasn't enough for me. I wanted more for my family. I wanted more for myself. Last 2 weeks ago, we all four of us went to Mexico, and when I came back, I had money in the bank from two settlements that happened. Um, so that brings me to the next thing, which is I was working for the mortgage brokers as a banker. I was working for them because once they brought me the file, it was on me to get it approved and settled. And then they got paid at the end. I said, no, I mean, this is backwards. I need to be on the other side. And so I got with Ariel and he got me started. I'm ready to grow again. I want to be 3, 4, 5, 10x because I have more aspirations. I have more ambitions. I want more freedom, more independence, more for my family. And so I did my next engagement with Ariel is going to be one-on-one VIP and the investment. I got paid. I made my money over and over. I lost track of having made the money back. So, long
Can
story
I ask you a
short,
question right there?
yeah.
Like, what's your specialty? What's that we got you to specialize in? What's the main product that you offer your clients?
Yeah. So, I really like the cash outs. So the cash outs is basically real estate as a collateral, and the borrower wants to have cash on hand to buy more property, right? That sounds simple enough, but I got to tell you, not all banks like it. And so, say, for example, I'll give you a very a live example. TD Bank, they don't like cash outs for you to walk around with the check in your pocket. Chase, the big guys don't like that product, but I have lenders who love the product. And so I always say yes to a cash out because there's collateral. Hey, Jimmy, but by the way, I don't have the next property lined up. Doesn't matter. You can walk around with the check. This bank I work with, the lender, we have a relationship. I'll set it up and you'll get your money. So, that's one. Two, Ariel, is working capital is a big request I get from business owners. Everybody wants working capital and they want that flexibility of either buying equipment with it or maybe pay down some high interest debt that they have somewhere else that they incurred for the business, or maybe do a quick sort of like improvement to the business. So working capital is a popular one. That's my second most popular one. And then, of course,
Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you. On average, how much you make per product? How much commission? If you
Well,
sure.
no,
Yes.
it's well. I'll give you an example. So my last settlement, when I came back from Mexico, I had a check from that settlement of $14,700, and it was a percentage of the loan amount. So I charge a percentage of the loan amount. And
Yep.
in some cases, and this is also an industry secret that I didn't know, sometimes the lender will also pay, and so you get paid. You can get. There are multiple income streams here that Ariel taught me, and so it's always a beautiful thing when you also get another check from another source as well.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And then let me ask you this. So I know that you dabble a lot into the business lines of credit. Can you tell me a little bit more about those, like your no doc products that we're able to help you get, and also your average commission with those?
Yes, of course. So business lines of credit are a great product, very attractive. It's also very flexible. The use for the business owner is unrestricted. And so when I came across it, I was able to sell that money quickly. And so the business lines of credit, they do require a particularly higher credit score as compared to, say, when there's real estate involved. But with no doc, a decent credit score, some financial information of your business, you can walk out with a business line of credit, unsecured, unrestricted, and you use it for whatever purpose. So a business purpose is not necessarily, say, merchandise or necessarily inventory. It could also be, hey, by the way, I'm gonna buy a property for my business and I'm gonna rent it out. Right? It's a diversification of your business. So once you have products that are flexible that people want, meaning the borrowers want, there's so much you can get very dynamic, and there's so much you can offer and so much money you can make. You can make a combination too of, say, I did late last year, I did a commercial real estate purchase and a business line of credit. So I got paid twice from two different products. So that was $1 million loan, 5% commission, do the math, $50,000.
Yeah. So the other thing too, like once you join the program, like we might partner up on some deals. So for example, we have a deal going on right now for the properties like $550,000, $600,000, and we're gonna share commission on that. So again, like once you're in the program, like if there's some deals, if they make sense for us to get involved, we go in and we help you through the whole process too. And then obviously for a split fee, depending on what that looks like. Now let me ask you this other question, right? So after you make your investment, like basically like one piece of information was able to help you take things like to the next level.
Oh, definitely. So I wasn't able to scale. I was word of mouth and referrals. I still don't have like this awesome, web presence and social media presence, which is why I'm re-engaging you for that. But definitely the strategies and the relationships that you want to have and you want to strike, the lenders will always prefer to work with me as opposed to I'll give you a very good example. Just today, I just went to see one of my lenders. They asked me to bring in the borrower that I presented. And in conversation with the borrower says, "You know what's funny? I came to the same bank and they told me I couldn't do the loan, but I brought him in and we settled the loan today." So it's about and it's no big secret. And as an ex-banker, if your application was going to give me a hard time because you brought it in yourself, I wasn't going to pay attention to it. But when Jimmy brought me the application and it's full with financials, application is filled out, the collateral information, the projections, big deal projections, right? The interim financials, profit and losses. So when my package is ready, the bankers, they light up because one, they're going to get it closed, they're going to get paid themselves, and I'm going to get my deal done. So the very valuable, Ariel, was definitely understanding what bankers were looking for and what made them tick. So how am I more attractive to work with as a broker? The packaging. The application package has to be complete, because if it's the same as a borrower walking in will be, then there's no value. There's no value to me. And that's on the lender side, working with them. On the borrower side is, why would I need you if I can walk straight to the bank? You know what? Then you go. Then if you don't need me, go to the bank yourself. And let me tell you, when they call me,
I know what you're about to say.
it's because they tried it already. They already tried it. And the other thing is, the other joke I have is, hey, I don't want to pay you. I don't want to pay you for helping me. I said, okay, hey, I'm going to refer you somewhere where they're not going to charge you, but they won't lend you the money. So you choose. So if you're in business to grow, and you want that capital, you want to buy that building, you want that line of credit, you want that working capital, and I'm here to tell you that if I get started, I'm going to get you settled, I'm going to get you approved, I'm going to get you dispersed, I'm going to get you your money. Then you choose. If you want to go the cheap route and not get the money, then that's your choice. But with us here in the room, learning these strategies, learning these tips, that's all the value we bring. People come to us because they can't do it themselves.
No, 100%. And you touched on something that I wasn't planning on, like sharing on the challenges because of time, but even one strategy, like just packaging, right? Like when you learn how to package deals, like the big loans are over
$100.
$250,000 that are fully full of financials and the right documentation. That if you join the mentorship, we're gonna help you analyze to let you know, yo, this needs to change to make sure this deal gets approved. But just like he said, because you learn how to do packaging the proper way and you share that information with the right lender that's hustling, they're gonna not only they're gonna love you, like the underwriters are gonna love you because you're making the job easier. And believe it or not, I remember, and some of you, because we have some bankers in the room too, might be able to attest to this, and also Jimmy. Sometimes you have, I don't know, like a $50,000 or $100,000 worth of commissions on your briefcase as a banker that you don't want to do because the paperwork is all over the place, right? Like you don't want to deal with it because you know that customer just handed you a mess. So guess what? People are gonna pay you for that because, and that's why they're paying you because you have this expertise to learn how to do the packaging to make the job easier for the underwriter. Because if that file hits the underwriter and then it's all over the place, that underwriter is putting it at the back of the line, and then
That's
you're not
exactly
gonna hear
right.
back from them. Versus when it's properly packaged, like who sent this deal? Oh, we're working with this broker or consultant, right? So
Yeah.
on top of that, you guys will also get access to Jimmy if you want to do deals in the tri-state area because
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's gotten to the point, like for example, I was sharing with them the Chamber of Commerce strategy that
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy was able to quote unquote infiltrate while I just show up to so many events that he became the go-to person for loans in the Hispanic community. That was the niche that he chose, so that's why it's super important to pick a niche. And now he has
Mm-hmm.
relationships that sometimes I ask him, like, I need a lender in New York. Like he has
Mm-hmm.
somebody like New Jersey, Pennsylvania. So you guys will also get access to my resources to do deals all across the country, right? And obviously, like you guys will have to share a fee with Jimmy, whoever he brings you on. Because the other thing that Jimmy does very well too, I don't know if you want to share this, but he's able to develop relationships so strong that he's sending the files directly to the underwriters in the community banks, the local banks. Because Jimmy, I told him on the training about the importance of community banks, and
Yep.
that's where you find the goal, right? Like I know you had a bank. You don't have to mention it if you don't want to. That
Yep.
you were making a lot of money from to the point
Yep.
that the president and CEO of that small institution will work directly with him. That's how much
That's
business he
right.
was sending them. To the point like that,
That's
if you apply directly to the bank, like they're like, we don't know, but if we came from Jimmy, oh, let's push this through and let's see if we can get it approved.
That's a question I think for me. How long did it take for you to close each loan? So it varies. So I have the cash out from with real estate as collateral. It's 5 weeks, and people in that industry, in that space, commercial real estate investors, they understand that because on the commercial side, there's a lot more digging that the underwriter is gonna want to do. And so, especially if the income is coming from a business that the borrower is borrowing. And so, financials, the application, but also on the commercial side, with a commercial building, for example, the appraisers are not as available as a residential appraiser is. And so I get like 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out for an appraisal to come back. However, in the meantime, we do move forward. We move forward with packaging, pre-screening, packaging, submitting, reviewing, revising, even underwriting, pending pending the appraisal to come back. But yeah, so the turnaround on a real estate transaction is 5 weeks. However, on an unsecured business line of credit, I had one come back in 10 days. On working capital, 10 days, and then maybe on a purchase, commercial real estate purchase, you're looking at another 5 weeks. Again, it's not how long the bank takes, it's the third parties that take long. So the title company has to get involved, and the and also the appraiser has to get involved. But yeah, so usually 5 weeks.
Great question. Great question. So, Jimmy, let me ask you this: like, what would you say to somebody that's thinking that's might be a little bit afraid? They see the price point in the investment, like for them to, like dabble into this opportunity. Because like I might still have some people in the room that they don't fully believe in themselves, so they don't fully believe in the program. Like, what would you say tell those people?
Well, I don't know how to let me see how to confirm what I'm saying. So I'm home. I'm home, and one thing is with this program, this house is paid off. That's number one. Number two, had I waited, and so let me walk out a little bit and just show you guys. I'm gonna walk out. I'm gonna walk out into my backyard, and I have no boss. I have no no time clock. This is the biggest benefit. The biggest benefit was like the independence and the freedom. I'm gonna sit here, and when my daughter calls me at 3 o'clock, I'm gonna go pick her up. Basically that's it. So it's life changing. It's a real business. I am facilitating capital for people who want it, and I'm facilitating capital for banks who want to lend it. I mean, what's wrong with that? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Uh, However, in the process, there's a lot wrong with it until we get involved because people don't know how to submit the application. As simple as that may sound, that's a big problem. And then bankers don't want to spend the time or waste their time, teaching you or educating you on why your application is wrong. I mean, that's one of the reasons. But for me, Ariel, and to everybody in the room, listen, if you have a question, a direct question for me, ask me. I can tell you right now, the biggest thing the best thing I did was this, because what I can control is my time and what I do with it. That was the indirect result of it. The direct result with it was, speaking of commissions, last year I was doing the math for one of my COIs, just one. He was kind of complaining. He was like, "Hey, Jimmy, you know what? My commission, this and that. Okay, all right, I got you." I had a report for him. I kept track. I paid him $100,000 worth of commissions just from his referrals. 100. I said, "Look, I have a piece of paper. $100,000 I paid you from referring me people." Never mentioned it again. Walked away, about his head. He kept referring me. Now I'm getting double the business. So, which is where Ariel comes in, because I want to scale, because for every three calls I get, I lose one because I'm not keeping up, and I'm doing something wrong, and I know it. I know I am. So I need help with the back end. So I'm buying him his time, his knowledge, his effort to teach me the back end on what I need to grow this business properly, because I'm losing a lot of money. As much as I'm making, I'm also losing, another. I can double my income next year. And I had to admit that I was doing something wrong, and I had to go ahead and rely on the resources and information that Area has to offer. If you're thinking about it, think about it. That's fine. I mean, you do that. But in the meantime, if what you want from this is control, independence, freedom, and good money, very, very good money, this is the thing that you want to do.
Now, Jimmy definitely took the freedom
Sorry.
mobility to the next level, because he I had just got on my newborn, and then he hits me up on a Thursday like, "Hey, there's a conference about loans in Colombia. Let's go." It's like, bro, like I can't. I'm a father now. I can't do that. So he definitely took the freedom mobility to the next level. But he, he definitely touched on some great points, and something I wanted to mention. Like, I didn't know that he was looking for that next level. But I'm glad that he's finally listening, because like, I'm not coming at you or anything, but it's just, we have this conversation all the time. So because Jimmy, like, boots to the ground, networking, chamber of commerce strategy works so well. He never really, like, he still, to this day, he still didn't want to like do the online marketing. And then now he find, okay, like now, like, I need better systems. So again, like I mentioned, the reason why I do this is because the more money you make, the more money we make. So now I guess I'm finding out live that he might move to the next level of mentorship, right? Like, which is one-on-one, besides the BLA Academy. So one last thing you want to tell to the group, Jimmy, before you leave, and thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy.
Yes, of course. No, glad to share. Got to promote. And besides the investment, there's a question. Besides the investment for the mentorship, what are the additional? Oh, I think that's a question for you, Ariel. No, yeah,
Yeah,
just
I'll
want to say
answer
that
it.
anybody want to reach out, I'm a real guy, real person, who's benefiting from this knowledge, looking to grow as well. And so, yeah, I just hope that everyone takes advantage of this, because one of the things I was having a hard time with back then as a banker on a salary was, how do I tap into that space? How do I tap into that industry? Because those guys, I could see the joy in them, right? When they brought me a file and I had to work the file, but they got paid better than I did. I wanted that, and I got it. I got it from listening to Avio, and I'm ready to listen again and grow to the next level.
Not for sure. Like, we're always looking for ways to make money. Sorry, one last question. So
Yes, yes, of course.
I just thought about this. So I know that some people have a scarcity mindset, and because I got on this question a couple of times. And for example, A lot of people think there's a lot of loan brokers out there because they might be seeing a lot of ads like, how many loan brokers do you know in the city, you know, 'cause, he's in Pennsylvania, like just in the city of Philadelphia.
Loan brokers, I don't interact with all the loan all the loan brokers because
Mhm.
I make my money from talking to business owners and banks. I spend my money on networking with those guys. You know,
Mhm.
I see ads and I see signs, Ariel, out there. There seems to be other loan brokers, but I tell you what, they're not prominent. Like I don't, you can't actually, I can't walk down the street and say, oh, that there's a loan broker there. I don't know where they are, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know. I rarely have competition. I rarely lose business to another broker anyway. What people will try to do sometimes is a client will come to me once, and then the second time around they try to circumvent me, go directly to the bank, and guess what happens? The banker calls me again to say, "Hey Jimmy, your guy is here." I'm like, "Oh, that's great. Yeah, take care of him. Go ahead. That's fine." But no, no, no. I mean, the competition is unseen for I would say.
No, for sure. Well, man, thank you so much for your time. I know that we scheduled this like a couple months in
Mm,
advance and you're super
no
busy,
worry.
but really appreciate everything you shared with the team today. So I did post Jimmy's LinkedIn. You guys want to reach out to him, ask him questions or
Yep.
anything. He's a real person. He actually does this. We work together. We make money together too. So once again, man, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. You're welcome anytime.